everyone, to the Hiring the Right Talent broadcast. It's a pleasure to be with you today, and a very important topic, because I think you would all agree that people are our most important asset. And I'm here with a very special guest today, Mr. Brian Godfrey. Brian, welcome.
Thank you, John.
A member of Dealer Council and a very special friend, because a little history, I think you were still in elementary school, but I called on Milliken Ford back with your father, early 90s.
Yeah.
So we go back a long way, but it's great having you here today, Brian.
Good to be here with you, John.
It's thrilling, and obviously this whole issue with people, you've been a key leader with Dealer Council helping us with that, and we're really excited to have you.
Well, thank you. You know, through the Dealer Council process, we really heard from dealers that they'd like some help from the company hiring and keeping the right people. This really started talking about sales consultants, but it applies to all jobs within the store. So in 2011, we began in Dealer Council working with the company, kind of a two-pronged strategy. One was to look at the reasons people stay and the reasons people leave our dealerships. So that was a retention study that you're going to touch on a little bit, John. And then the other piece was a pilot of some tools that could help dealers recruit, hire, and retain key people within the dealership. So glad to be working with you on this.
Yeah.
Looking forward to this.
Well, it's an opportunity for both of us. And I think you nailed it, Brian. The first thing we had to do as a team, much of the guidance from the dealers, is understand what the issues were from sales consultants. And as Brian mentioned, we did do a survey of sales consultants. And we'd like to begin by sharing some of the data of what we find out, because quite frankly, Brian, I think we were both a bit surprised at what we learned from consultants. So let's take a look at the survey. We conducted a survey of over 2,500 current employees, and a good mix. We had 1,300 sales consultants, 550 sales managers, and 150 dealer principals and general managers like Brian. Importantly, we also interviewed 500 former sales consultants. And again, you know, we have a very big network of 3,100 dealers, and we love them all. And we have a good mix of both contact and select, about 70% contact dealerships and 30% select, because the issues do differ, obviously, at a big store and a small store. So what did we find out? And this, quite frankly, we did get a few surprises. When we asked them what are the key reasons people left the store, here are the 4 key drivers we uncovered. No surprise, obviously, compensation was part of that, but I think you may be a bit surprised. It was a bit less than what we first expect. Work-life balance, 27%. The biggest, interesting enough, was dealership culture. And then last but not least, reputation at 17%. Now, these are pretty broad categories, so let's take a deeper dive at a few of these to better understand what our sales consultants told us. Let's begin with dealership culture. 55% of the dealership culture is directly tied to the manager. Again, it's all about leadership and management in the stores. Manager quality, and a little more granularity on that, was about feedback. Getting the proper feedback, possibly getting poor instructions and direction to the salespeople. Development and training was another important subcategory within dealership culture. And again, and we see this a lot even on the company side, Brian. It's people want to know there's a plan in place to help them grow their skills and their talents at the stores or at Ford Motor Company. And the rest of it, the other, primarily related to how others work, with how they work with other departments in the stores. Taking a look at work-life balance and compensation. Well, work-life balance was focused on limited flexibility in hours, along with limited input on when people work. That's been a tried and true issue for a long, long time in our business. I think, again, both company and dealerships. Compensation also came up with concerns about working too many hours for pay. They are hard jobs and compensation. In terms of compensation, it was fairly evenly spread around concerns for competitive pay plans and lack of benefits such as 401k, adaptive or adequate health insurance, and then structure of pay, either too heavily weighted on commission and salary structure. And as we know, Brian, there's a lot of different methods for pay plans around the country. But, there's just some of the data, but quite frankly, I was a bit surprised by some of the results, Brian. What are your thoughts from a dealer perspective?
There was definitely some surprise here. I mean, we went into this, many of us, expecting compensation to be the number one item. We knew it wouldn't be the only item, but a lot of us expected it to be the number one item. And frankly, it was only about a quarter of the issue in terms of why people left. What was interesting when we talk about culture, it showed us that the management team within the store is really the primary reason people stay or people leave. And what's great about that is that ties into the reason that we got involved in the consumer experience movement.
Right. Well, that's a great segue, because that, Brian, quite frankly, given that it's all people, that's something we've done. You were a key part working on that also with, and a lot of input from council. The consumer experience movement is a great initiative that we've worked on together to help move this needle in this space. So I'd like to give you a quick update on the consumer experience movement, because quite frankly, again, working together, we've proven we can really move the needle. And here are some of the metrics and how we've done together. And first of all, just to kind of give you some stats on where we are in the program, we have over 800 stores involved in the movement that represent over 50% of our volume today. And you know, quite frankly, what you're telling us, the feedback has been quite strong. 95% of the stores in the consumer experience movement would recommend it, and 98% would recommend their coach. So obviously, again, the program is being well received by our dealer partners. The movement is also having a big impact on the performance of the store, and that's what it's all about, Brian. It's about moving the business forward. And quite frankly, the stores in the movement are moving the business, all of the metrics, better on a year-over-year basis. And you can see on this chart just some of the stats. When you look at new vehicle sales, up 2 percentage points higher than stores in the comparator group. And even in fixed operations, service loyalty, and importantly, return on sales significantly above where we are. So, you know, Brian, for you, have you seen similar results in terms of the positive impact on the consumer experience movement?
Yeah, we've seen some of the same things in our store, viewpoint scores and sales results rising above group, which is great to see, obviously. The bigger thing for us is this has just helped our managers become better leaders and really helped us find ways to make our people grow throughout the store. So the next step then is when we're recruiting and hiring people to find the right people that fit this new culture that we're developing within the store.
That's fantastic.
And then that ties into some of the things that you guys, your team, has helped us develop here.
Right. Well, you know, I think we, again, working together, I think we found a good formula with the consumer experience movement. And we went into that program, again, it was a joint effort between a group of very important dealers, including council members and company people that said, you know what, let's work together and build this program together and how it works. And one of the things we did was figure out very quickly that it's not one size fits all, right? Especially when you talk about issues with people. We found that, quite frankly, you needed a different approach in each of the stores. And we, working on this project, had a very similar approach. We knew it wouldn't be a one-size-fits-all, so we did go out and do a series of pilots and came up with a bunch of tools that you participated in some that we think will really help in the hiring process at our stores.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it was a good approach, a good methodology. And what I'd like to do is cover some of those with you and some of the tools we've gone with. Well, the first tool in the toolkit we think will be a very popular option, and that's our partnership with Career Builder. It's a low-cost and effective solution to drive talent. For stores that sign up a 12-month commitment, the cost is only $449 a month, and if you're a dealer enrolled in CEM, you'll receive a $50 per month discount, bringing it to $399. Again, another value of being in the consumer experience movement. So for $399 or $449, you can post unlimited number of postings, that you will be assigned your own recruiting partner that will help you develop your ad, place in their network to get the most traffic, and importantly, screen the resumes to ensure you only get the ones that meet the criteria you identified. You know, this is going to be a tremendous value for our stores, as some of our stores spend as much, Brian, as $400 to place ads for just one position, and this covers as many as you want. For stores that want to sign up for a shorter period, say for 3 months, the monthly cost is $649 or $599 if you are a CEM store. So, Brian, I know this is one of the tools that you piloted.
It was,
as part of the thing. And again, love your insight on what you thought and how it worked.
Yeah, I mean, we were happy with Career Builder. The biggest thing for us is that they provided us one-on-one help specific to our needs. So in our store, we used them for sales consultants, for a tech specialist, and even for a body shop technician. And so with the one-on-one help, they asked us what kind of person you're looking for, how we wanted the ads to look and read, really allowed us to set up what we were looking for, and it had a lot of interest in what we wanted. And really for the price point, I don't think it can be beat compared to what we've spent in the past to look for individuals to fill these spots.
Great. So it sounds successful and really identify some good talent.
Yeah, we're happy with a few of the people we found through this pilot.
Great deal. Well, again, it's all about people. Well, moving right along, another solution that the team came up with comes back to TK Worldwide. And it's, again, the store owner community that worked with us and committee on this was very pleased in what it could bring to the stores. They are offering our stores the opportunity to list a position. They will develop an ad for the store, a recruiter in-store to help screen candidates, as well as a training session for applicants to better understand the car business. Now, this is a little bit more pricey in terms of investment. The cost of this solution is $3,250, which is a huge discount from the normal rate of $39.99. Another set of tools that are available are the assessment tools. These are tools that many stores use to identify potential hires as a tool to coach their current employees. Now, during the pilot, we tried several solutions based on the feedback, and we arranged for 2 solutions. The first is an online assessment tool that was given very high marks by the stores that used them. The difference with this solution was that after a candidate completes the assessment, the store can review the results and talk to an expert to answer any questions that they may have. Art Neiman has been doing assessments in the retail automotive business and space for 32 years, even longer than I've been in the business, Brian. And they use a per-assessment pricing model so that you only pay for the assessments that you do. The cost per assessment is $58 each, but this price comes down quickly if you purchase a package. Now, you can buy it in bundles. 30 assessments are $53 each, 60 are $48 each, and 100 are $43 each. So again, the more you use, the less on a per unit or per person expense the cost. Now, Brian, this is another one that you used in terms of the pilots. And again, I'd love to get your thoughts on how it worked for you in the store.
We did. The Art Neiman assessments worked very well. We used them not only to assess some candidates for open positions that we had at the time, we also used them with a handful of current employees that we know really well. So it would give us a fair test of, are these accurate or not? And we were shocked at how accurate they were. The other nice thing, like you said, the report's very detailed, but you do have the ability to call them up on the phone and talk to the assessor if you want help interpreting the report. Frankly, you don't need much of that because they're pretty easy to read and the details there. But I talked to some other dealers who use these, and the feedback was consistent that they felt these were highly accurate. You're not going to hire somebody or not hire someone just based on this assessment, but it really gives you a nice tool to know what you're getting with someone.
Absolutely. So while you didn't need it much, having that ability to reach out and touch an individual, you did find helpful though when you needed it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, but again, another success. And we have one more tool, Brian, that we wanted to cover with, which is Talent Plus. The final partnership that we included in our pilots was called, again, with a company called Talent Plus. They also do assessments, but they're much different in the way that they use live phone interviews. This creates what some consider a more robust assessment. Talent Plus currently does a tremendous amount of work with Mercedes and Audi stores, and the feedback has been great from most of the dealerships that have been involved. The cost of Talent Plus assessments are a bit higher because they involve much more human touch than the last tool that we spoke of. The costs range based on the level of employee from $250 for a customer service employee to $325 for salespeople, $400 for managers, and $2,000 for general managers and executives. So again, when you think about getting the right people, Brian, it's an investment, but quite frankly, at this kind of a spend, not too much to get the right talent in the stores.
That's exactly correct.
Yeah. It's all about people, and again, sometimes a dollar saved is not a dollar earned.
Correct.
So we go there. So again, some great tools for you to use, and again, when we look at this program, there are a lot of benefits for you, our dealer and store partners out there, and again, some of the things we've talked about today, it takes the guesswork out of attracting and assessing good talent. I think as Brian has shared some insight today, what we find through some of the pilots, they're simple, turnkey, and proven by Ford and Lincoln dealers. We had really positive feedback from the dealers participating in the pilots. And again, obviously, we started, Brian, with benchmarking other manufacturers that have used some of these tools. You have the ability to leverage the national resources at a reduced cost. There is power and scale, and you can see some of the discounts that we received, which was great. And importantly, using some of these tools will free up our dealer and store partners to have more time focusing on what's most important to me is driving profitability and selling more cars and trucks and service.
Exactly.
So that's what it's all about. So to wrap it all up, here's the great news. This is available to all of Ford and Lincoln stores. Again, we referenced today that stores enrolled in the Consumer Experience Movement receive a $50 a month discount from Career Builder, a great benefit, and again, with 800 stores involved, that's a great opportunity for you. CM stores that have earned their benefits can also use their Consumer Experience benefit funds to co-op all the expenses involved with these solutions. So that is great news. Again, as the benefits begin to accrue on the Consumer Experience Movement participants, that'll help cover, even offset the costs that are involved in this.
Yeah, that was a nice added benefit.
Absolutely. And this is what it's all about, really. It's about people, hiring talent. Now, you're probably wondering, we've covered a lot of detail, albeit Brian rather quickly today. A lot of detail, but again, as always, there's much more information available for you. If you go to fmcdealer.com, you'll find a detailed information on all the things that Brian and I covered today. So again, we encourage you to take a look. They're out there for your use, and again, we think you'll find helping very much drive the business.
And John, I'd just like to take this opportunity on behalf of Dealer Council to thank you and the rest of the company for putting the resources forward to help dealers, help us together build a world-class experience. And I think this is a perfect example of how we can work together for both of our benefit.
Yeah. Brian, I think you nailed it, and that is, I think, again, having been at this 28 years, the reason we're doing so well is that secret sauce of the company and the dealers working together to drive the business forward and putting the focus on the culture in the stores, as well as getting the right people in the dealerships to drive our business forward is good. So on behalf of our team, I want to thank you for your leadership and our dealer partners that worked on this program and pilots, because I think we've once again come up with a very good solution that will be flexible to help our store owners find the right talent for your dealerships. So with that, on behalf of myself and Brian, we want to thank you for tuning in and wish you the best in securing the talent you need to drive the business forward. Thank you, and take care.
Thank you.
Bill McKinney, I'm the General Sales Manager here at Tallahassee Ford Lincoln in the capital city of Florida. We just finished an entire recruiting campaign and a complete BDC installation from the ground up with TK Worldwide. In the course of 3 days, we had over 150 applicants on our showroom floor, which was outstanding. I haven't seen that in almost a year of being here. After going through them all side by side with the performance coach, Matt, we narrowed the pool down to about 6 people, 2 of which we decided to actually take to the floor with no intention in the beginning of doing so. At this point, we are all set. We are ready to go and expecting tremendous results out of it. We have had in the past more of the traditional type internet department where our sales associates handled the leads, and although they did quite well with the abundance of leads that we have coming in, we knew that there was an opportunity for improvement, and we wanted to make sure that we could capitalize on that. With all the companies that are out there and the owners that we have and the diligent research that they've done, they narrowed it down to TK Worldwide. Sitting on this side of the desk is sometimes a little skeptical to bring someone in, but at this point I am more than pleased with what I've seen so far. The energy and excitement was not only good with setting up the BDC, but it's actually refreshing to have that in the dealership. We welcome them with open arms and look forward to them coming back anytime and have tremendous expectations going forward.